Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we have a little bit of news, some stuff that we already know, but a little bit of context regarding what's going on with Creative Assembly moving forward. So this website, Games Chronicle, posted an article today. These guys seem fairly legitimate. I mean, they've been going on since 2009 apparently. So yeah, I mean, let's talk about it. It's going to talk about the issues with hyenas, and apparently, as you can tell from what's on screen, it is implied the studio's focus will return to offline RTS games. That means Total War, which is what a lot of people have been asking for, because I'm pretty sure the grand majority of you watching this video or playing Total War titles had no interest whatsoever in hyenas and saw it as an absolute money sink. So the first part of the article is pretty much what we already know. This is, yeah, they had a boom during COVID and they didn't anticipate that going down, which again was something that pretty much everywhere in the video game industry had that boom. And now they're all suffering for it because they didn't think ahead and decided to overhire and work on too many projects at the same time, thinking for some reason that this was going to last forever. Just diverging a little bit, as someone who actually worked in the front line with the whole COVID situation, with the whole healthcare sector stuff, yeah, the fact that video game companies thought that this was going to last forever is absolutely baffling. Obviously, this is more of a stockholder situation and so on, because when you have more profits, you need to find a way to generate other profits. This is why so many of your favorite studios and possibly less favorite studios are all suffering and having layoffs and stuff. I mean, if you just go on Twitter every 1 or 2 days, you'll start to see more stuff regarding layoffs. But let's continue, as this was all part of the financial report early this month. And then we got a little quote here. To put it simply, Creative Assembly was good at offline games in the RTS genre, but they took on the challenge of developing Hyenas, an online game in the FPS genre. However, although the game itself was good, we decided to cancel the development of Hyenas because we did not think it would reach a quality that would satisfy our users when we considered whether we could operate this as a competitive online game for a long period of time. So, crying about Hyenas, this is something that we saw again in the financial report. I mean, Creative Assembly have done an FPS before. Well, not really a shooter, but in the first-person styling, you know, we've got Alien Isolation, a fantastic game. I will say, however, and I think a few other people have echoed it, Hyenas wasn't necessarily bad in terms of gameplay. It's just like the whole concept of the game was just utterly cringe. But gameplay-wise, it was pretty solid. I mean, I got to try it out and yeah, it was okay. Honestly, the gunplay was fairly fluid. Everything felt good from a mechanical point of view. It's just everything else that was the problem. And this is the other part that we just generally don't hear about. So after the financial report, there was a Q&A session. This is usually what happens. So let's read over this. During the Q&A session following the presentation, Satomi, I've probably butchered that name, I do apologize, was asked about the future structure of Sega's European studios. As part of the process of structural reform centered on Creative Assembly, he replied, "We intend to optimize the workflow and concentrate their resources on the development of their specialty games." Reports following the game's cancellation suggested that the staff at Creative Assembly were unhappy with its development, with some sources claiming that a lack of direction, disruptive engine change, and overly cautious design contributed to its downfall. I mean, no shit, Sherlock. But yeah, okay, so this means that they're going to focus more on Total War, and this is both a good thing and a bad thing. In terms of good thing, I mean, that means more focus on Total War, which could, in theory, mean more budget, more time, and just more love to put into the franchise, so games don't release like utter garbage. In the past few years, let's be honest, we've had really botched releases for Total War. And by this, I don't mean just the Warhammer series, I mean the historical ones too. There hasn't been a lot of love, and they just release like garbage, pretty much since, I guess, Rome 2. So it's been a long-standing issue, not just since Hyenas became a concept, because apparently Hyenas was in the works for like 7 years. So while the focus on Total War is good, it does worry me that they're just going to use that focus to pump out other games rather than working on the ones that actually work. I hope both Sega and Creative Assembly have seen that pumping out a Total War game a year also does not work. In fact, it damages the reputation of the franchise more than anything. Case in point, the launch of Warhammer 3, and is it even worth discussing Pharaoh's players' numbers right now? It's kinda bad. The last point is, I really hope that they don't stop Creative Assembly from experimenting. Hear me out before you have a rage, please. I know that one sounds a bit controversial, But we've had some pretty good games that aren't Total War coming from CA before. Alien Isolation is the perfect example because it is a very good game. If you like horror games and stuff that just drives up your anxiety like I do, that one is there. I never played Halo Wars, but I've been told it's pretty good. So there's clearly stuff that was good there. It's just Hyenas was, how can we appeal to the TikTok crowd? Let's be honest, those are the people who can't fathom a video longer than 1 minute, right? You've seen that there in the short section too when it comes to YouTube. They're not your target demographic and they should never be your target demographic. This is an important thing because we've heard rumors of other games that were in the works at Creative Assembly which might have been interesting, right? There was talks about some sort of RPG game, something based in Unreal Engine. There were some rumors that it would have even been a Warhammer RPG game. Possibly the revival of the Total Warrior series and stuff too. Obviously, that's all up in the air. We don't know if they're true or not, though it's been heard from various different sources, so I'm inclined to believe them. So it would be a shame if those projects also got killed off, because a Warhammer game will sell, and if the Total Warrior stuff was true, I mean, that would probably sell for the memes. Experimentation is good. They've also had flops like Elysium, keep that in mind, and hell, they've had Total War flops like Thrones of Britannia and now Pharaoh. I feel like the experimentation should still stay, just don't make it so grand scale as it was for Hyenas. I mean, 100 million? Who the hell puts that type of money on essentially a gamble? But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys aware of this. Someone sent me this article and I thought, well, this could be an interesting discussion point. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I want them to experiment, but make it very small scale rather than, for some reason, more money than was going into Total War. But yeah, the focus should be done in Total War, as I said it before. I have a genuine concern when they say that of putting focus on the specialty games, because I don't want to see a Total War game released every single year. As much as it would be cool to get that, we know that Creative Assembly are incapable of doing a game a year. But yeah, guys, have a nice day. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Let's hope this shit show ends soon.